Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for tuning in. We had some technical difficulties, but hey, as they always say, it don't slow nothing down. The train continues. We back on the track. So if y'all out there been waiting for us, we here. Come on in, get settled, kick your shoes off, get your popcorn ready, get your drink, get your cold drink on this Hump Day Wednesday. Another episode of Win Life Talk. Me and my home girl Crystal J back in the building.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
So without, we're gonna dive right in, because we're running behind. We're about 12 minutes behind, but we're never late. We're always on time.
That
So
part.
tonight's discussion is the effects of the absent parent in the household versus a parent that's not in the household on a child. Do it affect the child? Do it affect their upbringing? Do it affect, what I'm saying, the overall understanding of, those life values we always talk about. And
Mm-hmm.
when we with this topic, Crystal hit me with it. I say, hey, this is a good one that we can run with. Now, understand what we're saying is, and I want nobody to misconstrue the topic. You can be a parent inside the house and still be absent. So we just want to make that clear. Versus the parent that's outside the household that may be more active than the one that's inside the household. So we're gonna tilt the scales a little bit as y'all come on in and get settled.
Right.
Come talk to us. Let us know your thoughts, your opinions. It's been a lot of chatter over this new social media dialogue over the past couple of years. Single households versus two parent households. Which one produce better results? And the jury's still out because I think
Maybe still
good
not.
people, good and bad people, come from good houses, dual parent households and single parent households. So I think it's a mixture. But without further ado, y'all come on in, talk with us. I hope y'all ain't tuned out. So
Right.
tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that they live now.
Okay. Pop on in. It's Wind Down Wednesday. Come on and wind down with us. So yeah, first of all, I want to say prayers going out to the people who lost their life in the what was it, a earthquake? I think it was like 9 people lost their life in an
Yes.
earthquake. I think it was one death from the bad storm that came through Georgia last night. It was a hurricane. I mean, a hurricane. Was it a hurricane? A tornado? Some
It
passed
ain't
through,
it
but
ain't
it was,
hurricane season. Don't worry, baby. You all right. Tornado.
yeah, it was a tornado. Thank you. It blew through, and I think it was one life that was lost. So prayers out to those who were affected and that has lost loved ones. So I guess we can dissect this topic in two different situations, as Max stated. Um, First, I guess we could say that you can be in the household and still be absent, right? So we could say, okay, on one hand, hey, the system is set up for us like that because I have to go out and I have to work my tail off. So it's either work my tail off and keep a roof over our head or stay at home and have no roof because I have to be able to take care of my children. So it's like the kids are, in some sense, are raising themselves. But it's, yeah, I guess in that sense, we have to find a work life balance. And I know that's not always easy to do because, like I say, how the system is set up is already set up for us to kind of fail in that aspect. Now, in another sense of, okay, that absent parent, you can have an absent parent. Let's say it's no father in the home, because 9 times out of 10, that's just how it goes. Um, if there's no parent if there's an absent father, who is teaching that young man to be a man, how to be a gentleman, all the qualities of life that comes from a man. So of course, sometimes you get men that say, they just, man, they just have a toxic way of coming up because they don't have the essentials. They don't have the tools. So it's already set up for them to fail in that aspect. And then they become grown men and they don't know who they are and they get into these relationships and they breaking hearts. It can go in so many, or they become fatherless fathers to their children. So it's always different ways to it. And Wanda says it's always quality, not quantity. You can spend good quality time with kids. Yes, kids need that quality time. I tell people all the time, you may not have the financial uh money to give them. You may not have money to get them. You may not have the money to solely be a 100% giver in that matter. But if you give a child time, if you give them that time, man, they'll love you for a long time. They'll love you to life. They will listen to the gems you gave them. Listen to the lessons, the life lessons you taught them along the way. I always say, daughters is their fathers is always their first love. So how you treat them is how they'll go out in the world, expect for another man to treat them. Male, your mother's is your first love. How your mother treats you, you'll go out and be able to treat a woman in that manner. So yeah, let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Uh, like I say, the system is we can go two different ways in this thing. Like you could just go from being a workaholic and not being able to be there for your kids and your kids raising themselves to now they getting in trouble in school. They staying out all night. They in the streets. They getting in trouble at home. Or you can have these absent fathers that say, you know what, I don't even want to be a daddy. You handle it. You take care of them kids. You created them. You take care of the kids. But now you have the child on the other hand who is saying, oh my God, why my daddy don't want me? You know, where's my father? Where's this absent parent? Because a child can get lost because it's like, I know who I am 50% because
Mm-hmm.
I have this parent that's showing me this way, that's showing me this walk of life, but I'm missing something because I don't know who this other person I came from. I don't know their family. So now I'm going through this world, rebuilding myself, rebranding myself, or creating myself who I think I should be from the life lessons that my mother taught me, my grandparents taught me, my aunts and my uncles taught me. Not from what I know from my father. I could be like, oh, you know what? Crystal got anger issues. Well, where it come from? Could it be from the daddy side? I don't know because the daddy wasn't there. It's different kind of stuff. We could go down to what sicknesses and illnesses.
You're right.
You just never know. You just never know. But how is it affecting the children? That's what we bringing up to today. How is it affecting the kid, the
And I'm gonna
babies?
and I'm gonna go back to something. Not to cut you off, I'm gonna go back to something you said earlier. It's pretty much we have to develop a work life balance because what you can't do is you can't let work take you from your children, your child. You know what I'm saying? Because they need that adult interaction. They need that conversational piece from you. So I don't want people to get off into the atmosphere that yeah I'm always working. You're not always working. You're not always working. Don't come in a household if you got kids, and I would say don't come in there and just immediately just come in. Don't no greeting of the day, no nothing, no conversational piece. Have that little small talk before you even begin that wind down period. As we all like you say, it's wind down Wednesday, but you know what I'm saying. Come in the house. Hey, how was your day? Those basic baseline conversation that allows them to open up to you if they got something on their mind that they need to tell you. But if
Mm-hmm.
you come in a set routine, oh, I can't talk to mom, they can't talk to dad. All right, they done got off work, they look frustrated. Because, 9 times out of 10, you're going to bring work home. It's going to show on your face. Or somebody done piss you off on their ride home. And then the first thing you do when you walk in the door, you're nonchalant. It's like you're in a silo by yourself. You don't want to be bothered. You just want to get you something to eat. You want to watch TV and go to bed. But you will miss that conversational piece.
Yep, you will. And it's like you have to, like you say, you have to find that time to kind of make up with one parent is missing that or is lacking that. You have to be able to have that conversation with them and be able to talk to them and be open with them and say, hey, this is what's this person is not here. They probably won't be here. But if you ever need something, if I can't help you, best believe I'm gonna find the resources that will help you. I'll get you counseling because I need to find out why you angry, why you punching holes in the wall, why you going to school cutting up. And if it's because of that absent father or that absent mom, man, let me get you the help. Let me get you to a place where you can understand that sometime in life everything don't work out. Or sometime if that parent wasn't taught, you know, wasn't taught to be a parent or how to be a parent, they bring your kids in the world. It's just a bomb ready to explode. Because everybody that's a father is not meant to be a father. Everybody that's a mother is not meant to be a mother. And that's just life. Sometimes we have to realize that. Of course, baby's not gonna understand that. Kids not understanding. All they know is it's something missing. And I'm acting out because I'm trying to find that missing piece. I need to know why you don't want me, why you don't care for me. And it's sad because sometimes what the when the parents are clashing, the kids is the one that's losing out. Not the parents. You're not hurting the parents, you're hurting the children that's missing out. And the kids are walking in this world, lonely. Like, man, where's my mom? Where's my dad? And we could take it back to foster kids too,
Mm-hmm.
because foster kids are missing both parents, and now they have someone who is not maybe not blood related or could be blood related that's raising them, and they like, man, I don't know who I am. All I know is that you raising me, you being nice to me, you speaking life to me, you pouring into me, right? But I'm still lost inside. I'm still empty. So now I am out here creating who Crystal is. I'm just using myself as an example. Now I'm just creating Crystal. I'm watching social media. I'm going to school, right? I'm in the neighborhood, in the streets, and I'm creating this person that I think I should be. And that's sometimes that's what happens. That's what kids do. And then they start to get in trouble. They start to get rebellious. Now they ended up in our jail and our prison systems. What can we do to change it? How can we change that narrative? Yeah, we could talk to them. What can we do for our young men that's bringing kids in this world? What can we do for our young women that's bringing babies in the world? hmm But these babies are being emotionally affected. They're being emotionally affected. Then we wondering why this is going on. They have this health issues. All that come into play, 'cause especially with health issues. Say they sickle cell anemia. You got the trait. You got the trait, or they got a birth defect, or oh, they may need a kidney. They may need anything. But then you got
Mm-hmm.
this absent parent that don't want to cooperate, and now this child can lose out because guess what? Or the mom just say, hey, I'm gonna step up. I'm gonna be honest. They may say, hey, I didn't was with two or three different people, or it might have been a drunk night, and I don't know who that is.
Hey, hey, but you know, hey, it's not a laughing matter, but you gotta you what you just said is very valid, and it happens. Like I say, y'all, this is when life talk. Stuff like this happen in real life.
In real life.
You know what I'm saying? If it's if it's a one night stand or a slip up, and then like I say, you don't know who that child, like she just said, you know who that child's father is. You know, you gotta find a way to close that gap. I guess that's just the best way to say it. You know what I'm saying? And then I think a lot of people get misconstrued, and it's not about you and the person. It's about the well-being of the child. And I think a lot of folks miss that key element there. It's not about you. It's about that child.
Mm-hmm. It is. I you pausing? You done talking?
Yeah, go ahead. I had something come across the line that I had to take care of. Yeah, I'm done. Done talking.
I was like, is he finishing his thoughts? Um, but yeah, I mean, it is sad because I've seen it. I have experienced it when I've seen children. Let's see what she said, and I come back to it. One thing is for the parents not to talk down on each other. Don't put negative thoughts out there. Kids will find out for themselves and form their own opinions. That is a great example because they will. And I've seen it happen so many times where a parent will sit in front of another child and talk crazy and talk down on that other parent. And then now that kid is looking like, well, I'm stuck in the middle. Do I need to play sides or what is going on? Like, no, don't do that. Let them form their own opinion. If you know that father can't come pick that child up, that mother can't come pick that child up, they can't buy him a bike this week. They ain't bought him enough for Christmas. They ain't did that. Just keep, speaking life. It's okay. He may can't do it. And sometimes you ain't always gotta, pick up the load and say, hey, I'm just speaking life into the situation. But hey, it's okay. They might can't do it. They might have life maybe life in form right now. Or, don't worry, babe. Just pray about it and I got you. At the end of the day, that's still your parent. Maybe they can't. And so just you have to find a happy medium of the situation. You have to find light in the situation. And like you said, when that father do come around and then that child begins to get older, then they can see for themselves and they'll come to you and tell you, man, why my daddy ain't stepping up. He doing this for this person over here, but he can't do it. Can't do it for me because you had those dads too that would get with other women, and those women, oh, you won't, allow. Oh, you can't take care of your kids. You can't do this for your kids. If you with me, you better take care of these ones in the household. And so you get those ones that is stuck taking care for other kids, bonus kids, and won't take care of their biological kids. So I've seen that as well. So we just have to go back to just preparing our kids and allowing them to form their own opinion, allowing them to come up with their own way of doing things. Like, hey, this I only can give you what I know, and I'm gonna make sure I. And I've seen single women raise excellent men. I mean, they went to school and not even really, went to college, is successful, treat women well, are excellent fathers to their kids. I've seen it. Even though they had an absent father, they had uncles, they had grandparents to step, grandfathers or whomever, or gentlemen from the neighborhood who will step up and just say, hey, let me take you up under my wings. Let me show you. This is how you tie a tie. This is how you change your tire. This is how you change your oil in your car. This is how you treat a woman. You open the door. And for women, this is how you take care of your hygiene. This is how you dress. This is what you look for when you going out, and choosing a guy that may, approach you or try to court you. This is what you do. So you have these people in place to raise them, to get them the essentials that they need because life is crazy. Like I've myself been in this, was raised by my grandparents. I had aunts and uncles who stood in the gaps, for my parents. I was not by choice. Mother was sick. So my grandmother and grandfather had to step up to raise me. Father was living his life. But they never, one thing I can say is they never spoke ill about my father. They never spoke bad about him. They never turned me against him. And when he did come around, they never stopped him from, seeing me. At the end of the day, they allowed me to form my own opinion. And at the end of the day, said, this is your father. So when I got older, I would go around my father, my grandmother on my father's side, and my family. And I began to love them. But I knew how to handle my daddy. Like I would go and hey, and I knew he had so much, when I was in his presence, he had so much love for me. And he showed it. But like I said, everybody that's a father is not meant to be a father or don't know how to be a father. Or I've also heard old school is that when your parent leave the if when the mother and the father separates, the father leaves it up to that child to come back and try to, if they want to build a relationship. I've heard that too. So Me, I don't like that. I disagree with that. If you're a father, I don't care if it was in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. You build a relationship with that child. And so I built a relationship with my father, and even though he didn't reach out, I would call him he went from once a week. And my grandma would say, even as an adult, Crystal, that's your father, that's your father, that's your father at the end of the day. So she said, I don't care if you call him once a month, once a week, call him. And I did that. And I called him once. It went from once a month to I would call him once a week to check on him, and see how he was doing. And then when he got sick, guess who was there? Me and my siblings. We were there. Well, me and my sister and my aunts on my mother's side. That we was there to make sure he was good. My aunts and his siblings. We were all there for him then. And so I always tell people those last 2 months I had with him was the best 2 months of my 45 years of, well, at that time, 42 years of living. I was able to have him one on one, me and my sister, able to talk to him and laugh with him, and it just brought to me like, oh my God, I wish I could have had this all my life. Because now I looked at it like some of my choices, like choices in men would have maybe been different, relationship wise, what to accept, not what to accept, and how long to sit in situations and not sit in them, you know. So it was a lot. And then I was like, at 40, it was like, oh shoot, Crystal, who are you? Because like I said, I lost my mother when I was 18, but I moved in with my grandmother, I think at the age of 5, my grandmother and grandfather. So in that sense, I had two absent parents, and here I was at 40, like, okay, girl, who are you? And um, what is it? You get it together. And so I was always a person that I did good in school. Even though I had a baby young, I still, stayed focused. I went off to the military. I got out the military, went to college. I'm working. I'm, doing everything that I supposed to do. And I know both of my parents are, looking down from heaven on me right now, because they said even in our absence, she still, came out to be a good child. So my heart goes out to those kids who don't have those parents. I'm like, oh my God, because I can know, even though kids out here having parents that's drug addicts, all different kind of stuff. But I pray for those babies, and I try to, some of them that I know, I try to speak life into them and pour into them, and give them the knowledge that I was given. Show them the way that I was shown. Because, like I say, even though I had those absent parents, I still had a grandmother, a grandfather who raised me dearly. I had aunties, I had uncles that stepped up, and I thank God for each and every one of them who stepped up and was a pillar in my life, because I can take from each one of them. Because each one of them has given me lessons, life lessons, and taught me and took me places, bought me my first car, and all that. They stood in the gap. So I was thankful to have that support. Everybody don't get that, so I was thankful for that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to take a very very important call, but I know my co-host been holding it down. Um, I could hear in the background talking. Yeah, hey, like I say, it's all about the support system. I think I'm coming in on telling her what she was saying, but um, it's the communication, man. Your kids are innocent. The goal is to give them if it's a one parent household, two parent household. The goal is to give them all the tools they need for their toolbox to be successful.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then, like I say, most folks don't use it as a crutch if you come from a one parent household. But then don't be that parent, you know what I'm saying, later on in life and say, hey, I miss those conversations. I miss those detailed moments. I miss those important moments. For the simple fact, oh, I was too busy working. One thing about mine, I'm always show up and show out. Hey, work is second nature when it comes to my kid. It
Hmm.
is zero excuse. You know what I'm saying? If an old saying, you get sick or you get injured or you die, that job have your posting posted before you get turned cold.
Okay, they gonna replace you real quick. Yeah, they will. And I tell people all the time, your health, your family, all that is primary. Their job is secondary. Yes, it brings the money in the house, but like you said, you just a number to them. They will replace you quick. And so that's how I just, think of that. I mean, like I said, I go to my children when they was in sports. I'm showing up to the games. Whatever that my youngest one, she keep me so busy from school sports to now AAU, and I'm just running, and that's why I'm sitting in the car now, coming from a practice. So you just have to be vigilant. You have to be present. Like, it ain't all about the money. It's all about being present. And I know sometimes it's the opposite parent can sometimes make it hard. I get it because feelings get caught up, and it's like, oh, if you don't want to be with me, then you can't see the child. Oh, if you don't come with $200, you can't see the child. We have to get away from that. Yeah, because I always say, when you know who you dealing with, you already know what you're gonna get, right? So if you knew who you was dealing with in the first place, why you now all of a sudden that y'all separated, you want to have these high expectations, or you want them to do more than what they can do, but you knew they couldn't do it when they was laying up with you. So sometimes you gotta meet people, compromise and meet people on their level and say, you know what, I know you ain't got it all, but come spend some time. You may can't, you know, it ain't situated for you to take them out and, go on out, or they stay the night at your house, but come spend an hour or two over here with them, or let's meet at the park. Come to a sporting event they got going on. Come to graduation. Come see them get ready for prom. Come see them graduate from college. Call them on the phone once a week or twice a week. Hey, how your day going?
Yeah, it's too much. Like you say, it's too much technology out here not to be. Even if, like you say, if you're in a separate household, too much technology, too much, especially with iPhones and all these other methods to see each other. So, you know what I'm saying? You FaceTime, and it's just like you be talking to them live. So it's too
Yeah,
many. It's too many ways and too many moments not to where you're sitting there making excuses as to why not.
right. And you don't want to be a phone parent. You don't want to be a phone parent either. Yes, come out and spend some time. If they live in two separate states, being that we was military, we already know you can have a baby over here, and then now you didn't PCS and moved over here. Set it up to where that child can come for summers, school, any kind of school breaks or whatever. But if we basing it back off on the children, let's make sure our children's well-being is set. And it's not always feasible. We know everything ain't always gonna be cookie cutter, but
Hmm.
if we can have like other people just stepping in the gap. What they got, big brother, big sister, thank God for that. Father programs, like what all can we, I don't know how that get through. I got my phone on do not disturb. But it has to be a way that we can, be able to, show up for our babies. And it's sad.
Absolutely.
It's so sad that people bring kids in this world and then they will walk away like it ain't even their flesh and blood. They will walk away like, and out of sight, out of mind, like they don't even got no kind of love for them. And people can be, heart can be so cold. Like, how can you have kids, or say you got kids, but you want to pick and choose which one you want to be a father to?
Hmm.
That is crazy to me. That is crazy. Seek counseling. Even if you got to put your babies in counseling, you might not have, as the single parent, as the grandparent, you may not have all the answers, but that counselor will.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
always counseling. It's always, you know, all that different kind of, it's resources out here. We just have to take advantage of them and don't be afraid to take advantage of them. Sometimes counseling ain't gonna do me no good. Counseling, yeah, try it out. Try it out, because if you get in counseling, I promise you, it's gonna start you from the beginning. It's gonna start you, that child, from the beginning. The
Hmm.
parents, especially, it'll start you from day one, from the time you was a child, and because they want to know how you was raised, how you came up. because then that's gonna give them a synopsis of, okay, now I see you why you like this. That child, it's gonna give that child answers and some kind of comfort. It's gonna teach that child, give that child tools to say, hey, you know what? I had an absentee mother, I had an absentee father, but guess what? I'm still gonna be the best person I can be. I still gonna shine. I'm still gonna be successful. I'm still gonna be a great parent to my children when I have kids one day. I'm still gonna remain blessed. You gotta give these kids affirmations. You gotta continue to speak life to them. And like I say, even with the parents having counseling, sometimes you need counseling too to navigate being a single parent because the
Mm-hmm.
stress of the world is on you. So you need to know how to navigate that. You need to know how to grow in that situation. Okay, you know what? I'm a female, but I'm raising a son. What tools or what resources is out there to help me? Even if is it some books out there I can read? You know, is it some programs? What is it? Because I want
Absolutely.
my child to be successful, right? So it just, man, like I say, a lot of stuff can happen with kids. They can feel they could be depressed. Depression can
Mm-hmm.
set in. Abandonment, uh, anger issues, confusion. Oh my God, it could be a list of, you know, diagnoses that these babies may have, all come stemming from having an absent parent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've seen where fathers raising daughters. Guess what? I've come into contact with some. They, when I went to the military, didn't know how to use sanitary napkins. Didn't know how to use, pads and stuff, because that's the stuff their father couldn't teach them. Didn't know how to do stuff as a female because sometimes their father didn't know how to teach them in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, I don't know. It's just crazy. But yes, y'all could have been doing anything else, but y'all rocking it out with us today. When Life Talk, we winding down on this Wednesday, and we just discussing how it, how having an absentee parent can affect our children. And absentee in two aspects. Absentee meaning, hey, you had this baby and you just ran off and don't want to be in the child's life. And the aspect of, okay, it's we in the house, but we both working to survive, that we don't have time for the child. The child is raising themselves. We trying to figure out work-life balance. We don't have time to give that child the essential needs that they need because we're too busy saying, okay, we got to keep the lights on, we got to keep the water running, we got to keep a roof over your head, clothes on your back, food in your stomach. And if neither one of us work, it's not gonna happen. This temple gonna fall apart. But that goes to show we gotta practice or figure out a way to do work
Mm-hmm.
life balance. Cause with that balance, hey, okay, you work this shift, I'm gonna work this shift. That way, when the kids come in from school, guess what? Okay, I'm gonna talk to them, but I'm, get their dinner ready about before it's time to come, for bed, or get them to bed. Boom, in the morning when they wake up, you might be there. All right, you get them up, get their face washed, talk to them, see how their day before went. It's got to be a tag team system. It has to be. Hey, greetings, Wiley. Thank you for tuning in, love. It has to be a tag team system. Sit down and talk to these babies. Talk to them on the mother side. Talk to them on the father side. But like I say, sometimes the system is set up for us to fail. Sometimes the system is set up to be a one-parent household. Because if you take it back, you have what they want to force. If you're not married, they want to force child support on the other person. And I'm saying this if they in the house. They want to force child support, or they want to, it got to be all these other expectations to X the father out in order for you to get support from the state. So, I mean, it's crazy. What you think, Mac? You look like you tied up in something else. My mouth getting dry.
Oh, hey, well, look,
Because you
hey,
ain't
yeah,
in
it's
no
one of them nights. You know how like they say, work-life balance, work call, and another important call bust through. Man, everything you done said, man, it's about nurturing. We know we go through that nurturing phase, and it's about that quality of life, that quality time. You know what I'm saying? We can never, you can never get too much quality time with your kids, even no matter how old you may get. Um, I often laugh, man. Like I said, probably in season one, uh, here I am, mid 40s, and my aunt, she won't miss a birthday. You know what I'm saying? She gonna send me a birthday card. That's so that lets you know that, like, hey, quality of life, that family, that understanding, that, hey, you know what I'm saying? She know my mom passed it, but I was just getting ready to turn 16. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Got a wonderful stepmother. My aunt has been my second mom, throughout the years. Uh, Pretty much since I've been born, you know what I'm saying? She was always there somewhere. As I got grown, you know what I'm saying? No matter where I was traveling this world, this I'm always get a birthday card. She gonna call and check on me. So when you in those homes, when you building that foundation, like you said, that's a word that we always use. That foundation with your kids, you have to establish, hey, I'm here for you. You can talk to me about anything. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what's going on in your life. You know what I'm saying? What's up, brother Wilder? We see you out there, brother. And don't be afraid to have, like Crystal has been so eloquently saying on these last couple of shows. Get away from those surface conversation. I mean, you gotta have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? And even so with the child, and even so with the absent parent, if that parent is absent in the household, you got to be able to have that conversation with him or her. Hey, look, you ain't showing the child the affection that they need. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be able to have that conversation. And like Crystal said earlier, when I had to step away, even if you're in separate households, you still have a responsibility, for that is your child, regardless if there's a stepmom, stepdad, boyfriend, girlfriend. That is your child. That don't mean wash your hands because me and you done, or vice versa. That means this is your child. These are the expectations. Set those boundaries. And then when it become those blended families, which we all see now, it's a lot of blended families. You know what I'm saying? Have that conversation about how we're going to talk and communicate with that child.
right.
And I think
Yeah.
a lot of that get lost in the sauce because, like I said earlier, it's not about you. It's not about that person. It's not about what y'all went through. It's not about all that hibbity, 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 like some folk would say. It's about the children or child that's being affected. And for the folks that's out there listening that come up and grow up in a single household, in a dual parent household, the choices you make in life is on you. So definitely, let's not just walk away from this show thinking that, hey, they said this. No, any decision you make in life is a life choice that you make. Once you become an adult, you can't go back and use that. A lot of folks like to use those crutches. Oh, I come from a single parent household. Man, there's some quality folks that came from single parent household.
Yeah.
There's some sorry folks that came from dual family household. So I mean, you got to find that balance. You got to understand that balance. You got to understand that connection. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to put out the best version of you,
Mm-hmm.
not what happened umpteen years ago. You got to put the best version of you, and you'll have a better life. Because everything you do is going to trigger back. It's going to go back to the baseline that you set for yourself.
Yeah.
If you come from a home,
Boomerang effect.
you come from a home that wasn't stable, okay. As you start growing and maturing and maturating, your mind maturating, you know what? Hey, the way I grew up, that wasn't conducive. Let me change. So when you become that adult and you have children and you have a child, you can know how to treat them the right way. You can know how to communicate with them the right way. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know people that don't have Zero communication skills.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think I challenged myself this year. You know, like I said, man, I text. I'm a text king. I'm a.
Did you get you froze?
Can you hear me? Am I here?
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I'm a text king with my people, but my kids, I'm talking to my kids now. So I made a concerted effort that I'm gonna do better because I shoot you a text, and you know what I'm saying. But talking to people, having those face to face conversations, having those real conversations, you know what I'm saying. It all ties into this topic. You know what I'm saying. And if you got friends or associates that you know that you may observe them, like you got to hold them accountable.
Yeah.
You have to hold them accountable because you're doing a disservice if you don't hold them accountable.
You are. That you are. So it's like, and then too, like you saying, holding them accountable. Even with these family members or mothers that be on the same bandwagon as their children or their sons that don't want to step up. It's like, speak to your child. Say, hey, right now, if y'all ain't getting along, I'll be that middle person that will, help come, bridge the gap. So, okay, well, what you need? You want to get the child? Okay, I'm going over here. Okay, let me talk to her. We're going to, put something together. We're going to get the child. That way you still can be in that child's life too. It's like you have to take the necessary steps. Don't just give up off of one argument. Oh, I'm just going to give up. I'm just gonna throw it away because me and her ain't seeing eye to eye. No,
Yeah,
create that village.
because you become wrong as two left shoes. Then when you do that, and that could be like you said, that could be male or female. What are you getting mad with the person that you conceived the child with for? That child didn't ask to be here.
You weren't mad when you was laying up.
You got up on that hill and something was good to you. Then you know now you want to jump off.
Mm-hmm.
And like you say, all that. And if you have adolescent kids or you have kids that's still in the household, that's still teenagers, that's those young adults, stop bashing the other parent of all. If it didn't work, stop saying, well, this person ain't do that, that person didn't do that. Because are you really telling the child the truth?
Yeah, it's
What,
what
what,
it's his side, her side, and the truth, right?
you got your glasses on. Well, let me see. I'm gonna mess with you. Let me see what Bro
Oh yeah, I
Wiley
got
said.
it. Go ahead. Oh,
If you
you want
don't
me to
talk,
read?
if you don't talk to them, then they might end up going to the wrong person that will lead them down the wrong dark, take them down the wrong dark path. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Communication 101.
You have to. You have to be in these children business. Like what's going on. I always tell my daughter if I notice she might be down, I say, hey, how your day going? And I reiterate, this is a safe space for you to
Mm-hmm,
express
mm-hmm.
your feelings. Because sometimes we be so balled up, feeling like we got to hold everything in and can't let it out. And we don't have that person to talk to because sometimes what you tell people, they'll turn around and use it against you. Or it'll be a fussing match. So you have to also create that safe space for that person to be able to open up and talk to you as
Mm-hmm.
well. Um, you got to talk to them. You have to. You got to let them know. You can't let the streets be their best friends because the streets will fail them every time.
Hey, like Bro Wilder just said, that wrong ear, that wrong, that wrong advice. Hey, you'll be sitting there looking. Well, I know. I told you this. No, you didn't. You were just in the house with that child. Y'all just looking at
Matt,
each
you
other.
done disappeared again, honey. Oh, there you go.
Oh, somebody Facebook user. Where you at? We can look like you
Yeah.
left a comment, but we can't see it.
Mm-mm.
It's got to be a glitch in the system. I'm still going. Can you see me? Like
Yeah,
John
I can
Cena?
see you.
Can you
Yeah,
see me?
this is
Yeah.
sick.
But yeah, man, like I said, if y'all out there, we know we started late, man. We got 16 more minutes we're gonna give y'all because we started late. So come on in, share your thoughts, share your opinions, share your comments, Um, like I say, this is not a one-way conversation. This is a two, three, four-way conversation because we love
Mm-hmm.
y'all impact. We love y'all views on situations. You might be a person out there watching that's in this situation.
Yeah.
All we're trying to do is give you something, give you some tools, give you some gems, give you something to resonate with.
Yeah.
Even you could be one that just been standoffish if your child, if it vice versa, if you're in the house or you're not in the house, but you know what I'm saying? All we saying is show up every day and be present.
That's it. Just be present because, like I said, at the end of the day, the kids is the one who are hurting. The kids is the one
Absolutely.
that's, taking that blow because they like now they feeling unwanted. Now they depressed and got that abandonment spirit on them and that single parent trying to, talk to them and pour into them. And it's like, it's going in one ear out the other because they like, I know you love me, but why this person don't want to interact with me? Why you don't know who my daddy is? Why? It is crazy. Why my mama don't want me?
Hey
And
man.
there's many other aspects. Some people can just be strung out on drugs. Some people, it can be many things. And
It,
babies, the little one's not gonna understand it.
and that's what we're saying. It's a that scale is like that it's basically like that wave on the ocean when you out there. Like she just said, this scale can go so many ways because we know those things happen. We know what happened in our communities. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? As to why one or both parents not in the house or why, you know what I'm saying, why you don't have that interaction. We ain't slow. We know what happens.
Yes, it is. It's like I say, this topic can be so broad. Even if,
Mm-hmm.
say, the death of a parent that was there, but you lost them when you was 5 years old, and one of your parents, up and passed away. That is now you got to do a whole grieving process with that child because the
Because
person that
they
they. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say when you finish that, because at those young ages, there is still a connection. A lot of people say, they don't have necessarily have the fond memories, but just like if your mama passed at an early age, you come from that woman. So there is a connection. There's a spiritual connection that's always gonna be there. You may not have been able to develop those long line of memories um, up until what I'm saying as you start getting older, but that connection is always there. If you know anything about the anatomy, the connection, because that woman carried you for 9 months. That umbilical cord, there's a lot of information that travels. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna get too deep on some of y'all. Y'all, what are you talking about? Trust me. Uh, what we got in the comment section? Even a working single parent got to find time for one-on-one time with each child. Absolutely,
Yep, and
absolutely.
each child is different, and each child needs a different,
Mm-hmm.
a different form of love.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, having three, I know, having three different girls, each one was different in their own light. Even each one needed different things too, and everybody wasn't the same. So,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen kids whose parent was not in the picture, but when they get older, they still want that love. They still ask why my mom and dad didn't want me. Yes, even as adults. That is so true. That is so true because it's like they're left with this empty space and they trying to fill that void to be like, okay, why? I need answers. I need that closure. And sometimes they would never get it. And it's sad, but that's where counseling comes in to help them navigate.
And this one here, like you say, this is another one that can tip the scales up or down. Because the simple fact that you don't know what your parent or parents was going through in that situation.
Hmm.
So at that time, it may have been the best way that they saw fit to have you in that space of what they was going through. So I often caution people, and a few of my partners I talk to, don't hold grudges against your mom, your dad for your upbringing because you don't know the situation or what they was dealing with at that time.
That's true.
It's easy to poke your lip out, you know what I'm saying, and say, damn, you wasn't there for me. But hold on. You didn't see what they was going through or they was battling to really understand why they did what they did.
Hmm.
So I want to put a hashtag on that one. Put you know what I'm saying, put an asterisk there because
Yeah.
very valid point. You're absolutely right. But the caveat to that is, and if the parents still living, have that conversation. Hey, when I was younger, da da da, and they may fill you in. They may feel comfortable filling you in now.
Yeah.
But if you like I say, but if you bring it present day and you just a non-existent parent, people like that really don't exist to me because I'm gonna look at you sideways.
Right. And you got to be willing to you got to look at the history. You got to look at the generational stuff too to
Mm-hmm.
say, you know what, if my parent comes and say, you know what, my mom put her boyfriends before me. You know
Mm-hmm.
what? So I was raising my siblings, or I was raising myself, and now, boom, now I'm your mom, and now I'm doing that same thing. So now, and then I'm the child, and I say, hey, well, why you didn't, why this X Y Z? You got to be mature enough or strong enough to say, and they say, well, you know why I did this, I wasn't taught. I was raising my siblings, my mom, the same thing. It's just like a generational thing. But you know what? I'm sorry. I apologize. Because that parent got to hold themselves accountability. They accountable. They could tell you the story, but they got to also, in the same sense, hold themselves accountable. And then as the child, an older child or adult child, we can say, you got to be willing to say, you know what, I received that. Thank you for being 100% transparent with me. Thank you for being honest. Now I know. Now I know how to, I can accept it because you didn't know, you wasn't taught, you just did what you was shown. So how can we move forward?
Mm-hmm.
How can we grow now? We are not a child no more. But how can we move forward in this adult life? Because sometimes we try to reach back and say, I need to meet you at my 5-year-old self, at my 7-year-old self, and that'll never happen.
And it don't work.
Mm-mm. It don't work. It don't work. And I don't know. That's why all I can say is that's when counseling comes into play. Um, it has to be some other form. If you can't handle it, if you can't understand it, or if you still gon' they can give it to you raw and uncut, and they can own it. But then sometimes you can have so much anger built up into you to where you don't even accept it. So you like, well, that ain't good enough. That response is not good enough. Well,
Mm-hmm.
what you want them to tell you? You want them to blow smoke up your tail, or you gonna be strong enough to feel it, to sit in it and feel everything that they throwing at you, and say, okay, I understand. I don't like it, but I understand. How can we move forward? Because now I want to break that generational curse. I don't want to treat my kids like that. I want to be more present with my children. I want to be able to sit down with them and watch movies with them and ask them, how was your school today? And if I have a partner, I want to be able to say, let me keep that, let me balance that. You got to be able to
Mm-hmm.
balance a
Mm-hmm.
relationship,
Mm-hmm.
with your kids and your partner, and be able to just say, hey, how to merge them together.
And one gem, another gem, because she been dropping some gems. Because like I say, I've been preoccupied with some other stuff this show. Don't ever put those partners or those spouses above your kids. I know a lot of people say, this, that, and the third. But some of them girlfriend, boyfriends, or whatever, whatever, they just here for the moment. Your child there forever. Then that child will grow up with some resentment or develop resentment because here you over here trying to get Jody all your attention, or you trying to get Jane all your attention, and you don't forget about the children and what
Hmm.
you giving them to look at. Dang, mama really don't care about us. Dad don't care about us. Don't do that. Don't do that. You'll regret it later.
You regret it later.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
go ahead.
oh no, you've been going. If your mouth dry, I'm gonna keep going.
No, go
Hey,
ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, as we always say, man, we got about 6 more minutes to complete this hour. But as we always say, y'all could have been anywhere else on this Wednesday evening. We know it's those spring break, those some that spring months. A lot of traveling going on, man. But we appreciate y'all, man, for always tuning in with us. Like we always say, man, run the numbers up for us. Hey, tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody. Like, comment, subscribe, Thought Magazine, Win Life Talk. Hey, this is an open forum, man. Like I say, we ain't no experts. We life experts because we're still living through um, our transgressions. We're still living through how do we become better parents. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Uh, yeah, I got a 22-year-old now. Crystal got, I think, Jazz, what, 28 now?
28,
You know what I'm
yes.
saying? So we got kids they've been our babies, but they are now in that early adulthood. But we still pour into them. We still talk to them. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
We got teenagers. I got teenage nieces and nephews. So, you know what I'm saying? You got to have those conversations.
That you do. You have to. You got to be able to talk to them and see how they feel. Because you got to think too. Just like we feel like we got the weight of the world on our shoulders, they can too. You got bullying at school. You got to tell them how to navigate that. It's a peer pressure at school. Pressure in the streets where, oh, you want to sell drugs. Oh, let me carry this gun for me. You gotta be able to navigate that with them and tell them to be leaders and not followers and learn how to say it's okay to say no. It's okay to walk away because 10-second decision can land you in jail, can land you in prison, or because you doing something for somebody else because they was a coward and didn't want to do it because they knew the consequences. So guess what? They didn't got you in and got you doing it. But if we talking to our children, if we putting our foot down on stuff, because a lot of stuff we did, so sometimes we have a little leeway. You gotta don't be afraid to talk sex education with your kids
A through
because
Z.
A through Z, real talk. Ain't no sugarcoating it. Have that conversation. Because you have to. Then maybe they'll go long standing without bringing, babies in your home. Because you got to let them know.
Got to keep that. Got to
What's,
keep them
yeah.
conversations going.
Yeah, got to be an open forum. What's your goal? What's your 3-year plan? If you're feeling some kind of way, you're going through something, journal. Don't let that build up. Because what it say? Pressure bust pipes.
Absolutely.
Learn how to get it out. People, I hate that saying now. What goes on in the house stays in the house. No, it don't. That's why you got a lot of rape victims and molestation and all abuse and all this other kind of mess going on because they want to keep it in the house. No, tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody. Don't fight those battles by yourself. Get some help. Single parents. It's resources out there. Life coaches. Children that's battling abandonment, depression. Get your baby some help. It's resources, it's counseling, it's tools, it's books.
Somebody been where you at. Somebody been in that same situation. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Don't be
Somebody,
afraid.
and honestly and truthfully, you hate to say it, but somebody's in a worse situation than you came up in, or
Yes.
that you know of. So, as Crystal just said, never feel alone. Never feel like you know what I'm saying, you riding this wave by yourself. There's a multitude of people to get out there and talk to. There's a multitude of things to get out there and do. There's a multitude of things and ways that you can change yourself and say, hey, if it don't look right, smell right, you know it wasn't right. So as you get older, you say you change it.
You change it. And so that's why I'm glad that I have educated myself, gained knowledge, picked up books, watched podcasts, listen to other life coach. As you know, I'm a life coach myself, but I tune into other life coaches because I want to learn. I want to gain knowledge so I can give free game to other people that may need it.
Hey,
other children that need it. You know, when you have kids, your kids' friends, they become your kids. And so they gonna be comfortable coming and talk to you and tell you stuff that they probably won't even tell your parents. When my oldest daughter, was in college, you know, if you could only imagine how many kids, ma, I got this going on. I got that going on. Should I go to the clinic? What one educated about sex. You know, sometimes we get free and they just run.
hmm hmm
They just dive straight in. So I found myself educating, man, about intercourse, sex, or relationships, just anything them babies wanted to talk about. I was there to listen and to also let them know that this was a safe space. Whatever you need to say, I'm gonna give you the best answer I can give you. If I don't know the answer, I know how to go find it. I know who I can reach out to.
But everything you just said, guess what? You weren't scared to have those conversations,
No.
and they weren't even your kids. But you poured into them. They looked at you as a motherly figure, so they felt comfortable sharing what they need to share with you to get that advice. So
Mm-hmm.
like Crystal say, man, a lot of y'all out there, you know what I'm saying, y'all kids be coming over to hanging with your kids, man. Talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know, like she just said, that simple conversation can spark a conversation that they ain't even having at home that make them go back and say, "Ooh, hey, it's not a moment to go challenge their parents or who they living with. It's a moment to say, hey, can we communicate more so I can really express myself and what's going on with me? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So yeah, man, the hour mark is hit. You know what I'm saying? We had some technical difficulties, so we went in overtime to give y'all that full hour, not to shortchange because that's never our intent or
No.
our goals. But hey, one thing about it, two things for sure, man. We appreciate y'all every Wednesday tuning in with us. Hit us social media, hit us up. If you got the numbers, hit us on the phone. So hey, topics y'all want to talk about. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? But other than that, hey, we gonna end this show. It's been another beautiful Wednesday. Take care of yourself. Remember to pray. Continue to keep Baltimore in your prayers and thoughts and all the other storms that affect in the world, all around the
Mm-hmm.
world. Like I say, it's a hot button topic. We talked about it last show, but eventually we're going to talk about the 2024 presidential election and your local elections. You know what I'm saying? We got to talk about it because it's reality. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to get on here and say we're political experts. I'm not Van Jones and all my other folks that be out there, but we're going to
Okay.
talk about just the baseline of, you know what I'm saying, what need to be done from your part because it is a right to vote. But other than that, y'all have an
Yes.
enjoyable rest of your evening. Like, subscribe,
Man.
share. See y'all next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, same bat cave.
Yes. And continue to wear your mask because this pollen is crazy. I know y'all see me up here digging my eyeballs out, but COVID is still yet alive. Flu is alive. So still wear your mask, even if it's just to protect you with your allergies. Love y'all. Have a great evening and a great rest of the night. Thank y'all for tuning in.
We out. We out.